Good day, everyone, and welcome to the show, Fernando.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Today, you can see we have a lot of stuff set up here. We have a radio, we have an amplifier, we have the all-important iPad, an iPhone playing the Educar test tracks. There's another iPhone sitting over here playing. It doesn't matter if it's an iPhone or Android phone. Today, we're going to be doing some iRTA2 how-tos. We get asked a ton of questions about things you can do with the iRTA2. In this, we're going to show you a bunch all in one video. So sit back, relax, and get prepared for a bunch of tips and tricks on how to use the iRTA2 to diagnose problems that you run into all the time while installing car audio. Stay tuned. The iRTA2, for those of you guys that don't know, is a 2-channel electrical RTA. And what you're seeing right here is me playing pink noise from my phone through a USB-C to RCA adapter directly into this, which is then coming over into feeding in here, and we're seeing that. So if I turn my volume down, the volume will go down. If I turn my volume up, it'll go up. If I make it a mid-bass only, it'll be mid-bass, bass, and mid, treble. It's all here. So it allows me to see what it's actually doing. This is playing pink noise right now, so we'll just go back to full frequency pink noise. The thing you have to know about USB-C connectors is that every single USB-C connector has a DAC in it, which means it can have some form of filtering. This cable promised a 32-bit 384 kilohertz dual DAC capability, but as you can see here, there is still some form of equalization being done. It happens. The cleanest signal we've found so far is the Apple units. The Apple comes with Lightning as well as USB-C. If you get the USB-C version of it, that means you can use it on an Android phone or a new iPhone or anything like that. And it works perfect and it's very flat. For this demonstration though, it's not the most important thing. We just want to see audio because we're going to be doing some testing and we need to be able to see what is happening through the magic of the wires. The reason why an RTA, especially electrical one, is so important is that I cannot see what is happening over this wire. I can put a voltmeter on it and I can see if there's voltage happening, but it won't give me a graphical representation of what's happening. This is 32 voltmeters stacked onto one thing so you can see every signal at one time. That's essentially what an RTA is. You're not gonna go buy 32 voltmeters because that would be outrageously expensive and wouldn't look like this, and this is a lot cheaper. And you can find it at D&F tool drawer. First things first is we have a radio over here. The scenario we're gonna paint for you is I have my radio, I have a sub amp hooked up, I'm getting no bass, I have subwoofer, I don't know what's going on. And I've tested my subwoofer, I put a voltmeter to it and it's showing me that it's good. So where is the problem? Is it the RCAs on the radio aren't working? The RCAs aren't working? Is it the output of the amplifier? We don't know. So we're going to do a bunch of tests to figure that out. So our first test is going to be get a new set of RCAs, plug them into the left and right inputs of the iRTA2, and then plug them into the back of the radio. In this case, we're going to be testing subwoofer. The iRTA2 has an on-off switch for each channel, left channel, right channel. Right now they're both off. Right now they're both on. We're going to turn the volume up on the radio, and we should see this section get louder and louder, and it does. So that means we have signal coming from the radio. Turn off the right, it gets reduced a little bit like it's supposed to. Turn off the left, and it will get reduced like it's supposed to. In this case, this is telling us that both right and left output from the radio are working. If we got something like this, then that would tell us that the outputs of the radio are not functioning the way they're supposed to. We can stop what we're doing, and we know that there's something wrong with the radio itself. In this case, we didn't. We got this, which is great. That tells us our radio is doing what it's supposed to do. The next test is to remove these, plug the RCAs back into the radio that were there, unplug them from the amplifier, and plug them into the iRTA. Start with the iRTA off, turn on the left, turn on the right, and we should get the same exact thing we got when we were testing out of the back here. And we have something that looks very similar to that. We'll turn off one, reduces, turn it back on, turn off the other, it reduces a little bit. We have a great signal. If we were to get this, that would tell us that, oh man, we have a bad RCA. Just run a new RCA, and everything is great. But we got this, so that is telling me, something else downstream is the problem. Turn this off, unplug the RCAs, plug them back into the amplifier. Next, what we want to do is hook up the speaker wire output to the iRTA. It can handle 20 volts of input. This is a 1000 watt amplifier. Clearly it can put out way more power than you want to put into this thing. This is not a amp dyno. It's not made to test what an amplifier can do. It's just to see what the signal looks like. So make sure we start with the gains down, turn the volume on the radio all the way down. Connect your speaker wire output up to this, and then take the Phoenix connector that comes with the iRTA2. And since this is a mono, we're gonna connect it into the left channel. Plug that guy in like that. Now you can run both if like you have a left and a right, even though it's a mono output. If you want to run two into here, you can. It doesn't matter, whatever you want to do. We just want to check and see what is happening coming out of the amplifier. Power light for the amplifier in this scenario would be on because everything is on. We just don't understand what is happening. Turn the left on. We'll get that little noise there at 63 hertz. This is perfectly normal, by the way. If you see this, this means this is on. Turn the volume for the radio up. And he's turning it up, and he's turning it up, and he's turning up. Where you at?
All the way up.
He's at max volume, and we're not getting anything. This is scary because this guy is not putting out any sound. Turn it back down again. That is going to tell us right now we have a common scenario where we call lights on, nobody's home. The amplifier, something has happened internally on the amplifier because we know that this RCA is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, and this output should be turning this on, and it's not. That means the amplifier is having some kind of an issue, and you have to figure that out, whether it be the amplifier's bad, your power's bad, your ground's bad, whatever it is. This isn't working the way it's supposed to. Let's say it is working the way it's supposed to. Make sure left channel is on, start turning up the volume on your radio, and boom, you're good. We see signal. Remember, all you have to do is see. You don't have to turn it all the way up. We know now that, okay, even though we measured that subwoofer, there might be something wrong with that subwoofer. Or if we wanted to, we could also not use our own piece of wire here, and we can take the wire that we have going into the box, put it into the input on this, and see if it's actually the wire that's bad. Possibly the speaker cup is bad. There's a bunch of scenarios that you can check. So you could pull the subwoofer out of the box and make the next connection at the subwoofer, meaning disconnect the subwoofer, put the wires there inside of the box, and see if it's passing through your speaker cup. They are known to melt and have bad days. The same technique would be used through there. What you're doing is you're making a test at each individual stopping point to figure out what is good and what is bad. In this case, everything is great. We're just showing you what you could possibly run into and how this tool will help you. Now, as we talked about, we have this cool USB-C to RCA. How is this going to be helpful? Well, let's say we have a factory radio, there's no RCAs, and we want to test this. There's maybe a high level to low level or something else in there. We're just like, I know that's fine. Like we're skipping ahead as though we all like to do. What do we want to do? So for that, we're going to plug these RCAs from here. We're going to take these RCAs and we're going to plug them into this amplifier. Fire up our test phone. We're using the Educar app. We're going to put on our pink noise, turn on the iRTA. In this case we left it on, and we can see here that we have some form of bass, and I can use the volume control on my phone to turn that up and down. We know that this is working the way it's supposed to because we're using our phone as a signal source to drive the amplifier signal out of here, and we can see what that looks like. We could also use this to dial in any EQ or crossover. So for example, we'll come over here, and this has a subsonic filter. We turn that up. As you can see, that subsonic filter is starting to kick in and we're losing a ton of bass. Different scenarios will dictate how I want to use that. We can also use it to set the crossovers. Like so, for example, this is almost a full range amplifier all of a sudden because we have the crossover set to 50 hertz. So as we keep going here, there's our crossover right there. We can adjust that and see, is our crossover working. Then we have a bass boost, and you can pick the frequency. So with the volume down, we can come over here and we can turn this up, turn up our bass boost, and then we can decide what frequency we want it. Right now it's at 32, but as we turn this dial, this will start to move across this way because now it is tuned to 63. As you can see, it slides back and forth. So we could see that bass boost in action, as well as we could see that crossover in action. So this can be very helpful for any type of scenario you're running into. Next scenario, let's say this is a factory radio. We have a high level to low level somewhere in there, and we want to see, do we have good signal through our RCAs? We basically want to do that RCA check. In this case, these are male, so we'll need some bullet connectors. And we can unplug these from our high level to low level adapter. We can plug them into here, make sure our phone is up and ready to go. Turn the volume up. Turn the channels on. All right, so now what we're doing is what Tony D'Amore calls a gain train. So we have our signal, wherever it starts, coming all the way through into the amplifier, passing through the amplifier, coming into the iRTA, and here it is. And our volume control is now our phone. And we can do whatever we want with it. So if we want to just see what the bass signal is doing, we can tap bass, it'll show us our bass, tap mid, show us our mid bass, so etc, or just full range and everyone's happy. So as you can see, this makes troubleshooting any scenario where there's sound not happening much easier because you can physically see what is going on. Well, there you have it, guys. This is how the iRTA2 performs. If you have one and you don't know how to use it, you just got it because it's a cool tool to have. This is a great way to work your way through a problem you might run into in your install bay. It also allows you to check your work. There's a lot of usefulness for this. We have a ton of videos showing you specialized things that you can use this for, so make sure to check those out. That's all I got for you. I'll put a link in the description for this cable in case you don't have one. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you found it helpful. Fernando, if you please.
On to the next one, guys.
You guys have a great night as always, and we'll see you later next time. Bye.